Hello everybody and welcome to Creativity Time. I'm Tatiana Tobin and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Australia. I blog at stamping.tatianacreative.com.au. I enjoy Wednesday live videos because I hope that I inspire people to be creative. Creativity is such a beautiful process and it's so wonderful as human beings. We get to be creative, and my main creative outlet is making cards, and the key thing is to make them and send them to someone. And in the current climate of the world with the COVID-19 virus, it's really nice to be able to cheer someone up or brighten their day, share the sunshine as our CEO Sarah Douglas has been promoting, and just send a card in the mail. It's a simple thing. You can pop it in as you go get your essential services as food, and then you can keep on going. You know you're watching live if you see the little red live up there. Otherwise you're watching the recording, or if you're on YouTube, this is definitely recording, but still feel free to leave comments so that I know that you've seen, and if you have any questions. Today we're going to do I don't even know what to call this technique. I've done it before and I really loved the effect, and that card came in photos. I saw it the other day. Oh, that's right, I have my cards showing up on my screensaver, and I saw that card and went, I should do something similar again. So anyway, let's get to the craft desk and get some crafting on. Let's flip. We will be using the Poppy Moments dies, and I have already pre-die cut everything in white. These are a beautiful set of dies that create poppies, and we're going to create I don't even know, I guess it's almost like an embossed background. That's probably the best way to describe it. So what we're going to do is we're going to adhere all of these poppies to the background of the card, and it's white on white. I'm using Whisper White. I've die cut these from regular Whisper White, and this is Whisper White Thick card base. Simply half a piece of A4 cardstock, and now I am prepping that. Hello Elfie and Sharon, thank you for joining me. And I did this technique, when was it? November, not last year, the year before, and I really loved it. Yes, you get to catch me live, that's exciting. And the idea is that you take die cuts, any kind of die cuts you want, but generally it works best with die cuts that aren't solid. So these kind of outliney. Hey Kayla, thanks for joining me. And I'm just finding an arrangement that I like, essentially, and placing them down. I've got leaves and the big poppies and the small poppies. I did cut out some of these as well. Let's see. And just play around with it. See what you like. What works for you. And it will look better, I promise. I know it looks a bit strange at the moment. I move that up and that. Now we can cut that one in half. I am not about to use press and seal, but that would be a good idea considering I have press and seal. I did not think of that. No, I'm not going to use the press and seal, and I'll explain why, because of the way I'm going to be adding the glue. And the press and seal won't really work. And it doesn't have to be in the exact position, because I'm not going to, what I'm going to do, I'm not going to be, I'm not using press and seal because it doesn't matter position. So I've just snipped. This is the full die, and I've just snipped to get the 3 leaves. And I'm not going to use the press and seal because of the way I'm going to be adding the glue to these. It'll be just too messy. And I do like it when they come off the edge. So this is the kind of thing I want And so we'll start with that. And it is going to get a little bit messy with the glue because you still have, no, it was a very valid question, Kayla, and I was thinking, maybe I should use press and seal for this. This is not a terrible idea. If I move that up, move that across like that, I can add a bit more of a flower there. Cool. I can't wait to see either. I have done this technique before. So what I need now is the silicone craft mat, which I didn't pull out and I don't remember where I put. But that was clever. I had it out before. Oh man. My desk isn't messy, but it's not exactly tidy. Normally on this shelf here. Ah, found it. Woohoo! I found a new spot for it. Okay, so I'm going to have I've got a sponge here. It's just a wedge of our stamping sponge. Hello, Deb. I'm glad to see you here. Hope Facebook is working for you. It was just over a year ago, our press and seal, though, mind you. Hold on, what date is it? 15th? No, we were home by the 15th. Yep, so it's past the press and seal adventures of last year. For those watching who have no idea what I'm talking about, last year, Kayla and I together travelled to New Zealand for the Stamping Up convention on stage, and I bought up a lot of press and seal because we don't have it in Australia. Okay, so enough chit chat. Hello, Monica. I've got a piece of Stampin' Sponge which I've dedicated to gluing, and I've just poured out some of the multi-purpose glue, and this is how I'm going to adhere my bits and bobs. So when you're doing this, I like using the silicone mat because it can be washed and peeled off. You can do it on paper, but you risk the risk of your paper pieces adhering to the paper that you've got underneath. But the trick is never to place another piece on top of the same spot. So I'm going to be very strategic in where I place. This is where I wish I had tweezers, but I don't. And then I'm going to glue it down. Now the reason why I am doing the gluing this way is because I want these pieces all adhered down completely. I don't want bits hanging up and lifting. Yep, we both go live at the same time, Kayla. I know it's but you know what, we've all got to work when it works for us, and this was the time that works for me. Mind you, with COVID these days, most times would work. And so we're just going to go around and glue our pieces down. And so I'm hanging them off the edge on purpose so that there is that interest of, it's almost like the pattern is continuing on. Do say hi to Nancy. Say hi, I'm watching Tanya on the other side. There we go. And I said why I'm gluing it this way, because I don't want pieces coming up. I want them stuck down quite well. Finding spots where there isn't glue. And this is a nice way of getting your die cuts, particularly these really intricate die cuts, glued down. It does depend on what you're trying to achieve. I don't always use this method, but when you want things to stick down completely, this is definitely a great go-to method. When you don't mind things having edges coming up, you just watch later when they overlap. Yeah, of course. But thank you for joining me live. It's always nice to have some crafting company. So my fingers are getting a little bit sticky, but that's okay. I can wash them. I'm good at hand washing techniques. Has everyone been practicing their hand washing? Kayla, are you home today? Or are you working later tonight? So I can snip that one as well, because There we go. And this, as you can see, like I did have a fair bit of glue there, but it's spread out. And if you get any glue on your project that you don't want, let it dry and then take a regular white eraser, as so, and just rub it, and it picks up the glue and takes it off, which is a really neat thing. So let's see, that one there, yep. Oh no, I was going to have the leaf. Yep, I do want the leaf there. So I really like this, and you don't have to use white. I've just chosen white because I wanted something bright and light. Morning, Megan. But you can definitely do this. Last time I did this technique was on Highland Heather. So it's not a exclusive to white kind of technique. And I keep the sponge. I keep using the sponge until it's really unusable. There we go. Now I'm going to add this piece over here. I am running out of space where there isn't glue. Sing the alphabet song. Oh, we've been doing happy birthday. Mind you, my son has a variation of happy birthday that my daughter doesn't like. So we now have a hand washing roster where they each get to wash their hands on a separate day first, so that they're not in the same bathroom at the same time. Life with kids, hey? Nope, that's going this way. Does anyone have an idea of what to call this technique? I don't know. Well, it's not really a technique, this effect. I don't know what to call it. But you can see it's building up. It's really pretty. Hi, Anne. Thanks for joining me. Okay, so I've got bits where I want to add some more too. Hopefully I don't need to add some more die cuts. I'll put those leaves right there. So it's always good to cut more die cuts than you need so that you can play around and add them in. And let's see. I might have to cut another one out. Thinking, yeah, I'll cut another one of those. So that's the big poppy outline. I'll just grab some more paper. Excuse me. I'll just be right back. There we go. You love white on white. Yes, it is beautiful. It's just pushing those bits out. And I'm going to use my snips because they were closest. So there's holes in the die. Oop, would be good if I showed the camera. And you can poke through to them to get that die, the piece of paper if it's stuck in the die. Up, and then you just gently pull it out. Yep, beautiful. I will trim that so that I'm not adding glue all over it. Just sponge that on. Did get glue on the top of that, but we will fix that up once it's all dry. There we go. So there's our back around, essentially. I am going to just go quickly give my fingers a little rinse so that they're not remaining sticky. I'll be right back. welcome back. I'm going to put that to the side. And thought it'd be fun to use the Peaceful Poppies elements with this card for a splash of colour, because I haven't used any of these pre-painted ones. So I'm going to just pop them out, see what we shall do. I probably don't need all of that. You know it as faux, is that how I pronounce the word? I have a lot of trouble with that. Faux embossing. That makes sense. Thank you, Monica. Faux embossing. And some of these vellum ones. This is a really lovely, what was it called again? Elements kit. Not really a kit. Elements, I guess you could say. Has some lovely bits to it, and I'm not using it enough. So I've got some flowers, some leaves, primarily focusing on the vellum leaves. What else comes? It comes white heat embossed on watercolor paper, which is really lovely. I have shared that already. And then, I'm not sure we'll use those. These are black. I'm not big on black, though we'll see. Might use that. Maybe the circle. We shall see. And I've just put mine in a clear stamp case so that it stays together. Essentially, I had to cut the sheets in half, some of them, but that's all good. Still all usable, and it just keeps it all together. I was thinking, so this is all part of the Peaceful Poppies suite. Did I get that right? Peaceful Poppies suite. From the 2020 January to June mini catalogue. Just finding what page it's on. I keep forgetting. Painted Poppies. So it's part of the painted. I'm using the Painted Poppies and Peaceful Moments, which are on page 20 from, there we go. So Peaceful Poppies suite. And it has this beautiful paper. It has the Painted Poppies bundle and the Peaceful Moments bundle. So that's the die set that we've just used, and I will use the stamp with that. There's Peaceful Poppy sequins and the Peaceful Poppy elements and the Whisper White. And those are just close-ups there. So, oh, things got stuck to my catalogue. Okay, that's now sufficiently dried. So now we're going to trim the card, or trim the bits hanging off. And the way to best do that is from the other side. And the reason is that you can see the edge much more clearly. And so you get a nice, crisp, clean cut. And just take your time. No need to rush. You're addicted to the... I am not surprised. I do hope to use them today. I didn't pull them out, but we will be using them. They are beautiful sequins. Snip, snip, snip. Sometimes I do think bigger scissors would help, but finding some is the issue in the house. And snip, snip. I'll leave that bit. Do this side. Sticking to my finger. There we go. Now, the black and the gold ones. I knew you would say the black ones. Okay, so I've got a little bit of sticky bits on here. And like I said, just run a regular eraser over that and swoosh it off. So the sticky bits, not Bix. My daughter said she was hungry, so I've got food on my mind. The sticky bits be gone. Ta-da! Isn't that pretty? Okay, I was thinking of taking the painted label die, but maybe not. Let's just see. Now, I know I'll be covering if I use that. No, I will. I'll take the painted label die. This is from the other set, the painted poppies, and it's the painted label dies. I'm taking the big one, and I will, again, in white. Yeah, I really like that. I have a tendency, this is kind of one of my go-to layouts of placing labels there, but I'm trying to break free. Well, not so much break free, but let's try something different. So I'll put it down there. And I thought the thank you would be fun. So this is the stamp set from the Peaceful Poppies bundle, or one of the two. And I think the thank you would be lovely. Just not sure if I'll put it up or down yet, so I won't stamp that. We're going to just arrange and work out what we want to do with our bits and bobs first. Oh, I like that down there. If I create that, ooh, yes, I like that. Maybe have that one coming out from behind, and then thank you can go right there. Yes, I am happy with that. Oh, that is upsetting, isn't it? Actually, I think ours is out of stock as well. So yeah, I was lucky that I was able to, oh, I'm not stamped, oh there, I was stamping in. I was lucky that I was able to get it early. Going to use Memento black ink for the thank you, and keeping the palette of colors simple. There we go, nice and inked up there. Thank you. And I'm going to trim that. Love the little mini trimmer. Yeah, ours are on back order as well. Yep, I think it's because of Corona. For as far as well, and popularity. Okay, I want to put that up on dimensionals because a bit of dimension is always lovely. That will go there. That will go there. Yeah, we like that. And before I start adhering all of that together, I would like to add some out those, and I'd like to add some metallic thread to the back, just for some more prettiness, really. So what I've got here is a piece of Terran tape. This is my favorite way of adding, probably put it down too low. It's a little tad low, but that's okay. Kayla, were you on night duty? So I've just twisted some and stuck it down to there. And the messy look is what I'm going for, essentially. The Terran tape I found holds it really well, and that's why I use the Terran tape. You could just use some snail. Oh, Kayla. Yes, you should be asleep then. Okay. We shall glue this one down. Thank you, Joan. Joan, sorry, that didn't sound like I said Joan. It sounded like I said Joe, but I did say Joan. Kayla, you need some sleep. And that will go in there. Because of the dimensionals, I didn't trust that that would slot in underneath. So I'm pulling off the release paper from the dimensionals. Adding that. And now we can add pretty, I really like that. Okay. Woohoo! Last night shift before 4 days off. Geez, when hubby comes home from night shifts, he goes straight to bed. My crazy kids should be asleep. Monsters all. Mine were asleep, thankfully. Okay, and because I got some out, let's see, yay or nay. That's what I love about this glue, is that it gives you a bit of, what do we think, too much with the vellum? What do we think? The vellum? No, I like the vellum. No, don't scare people, Kayla. Though if you need to debrief, feel free to message me. I am seeing love hearts, so I'm just going to add those vellum pieces in. That one already had some glue on it, so that's handy to know. Yay for vellum. I was going to say we didn't do any stamping, but we did. We stamped the thank you. And final touch. Oh, just put some in the. Going to put one of these on the inside of the card. And yes, I've gone off the edge, and I'll trim that off. I shall trim that off, but I'm thinking some sequins. Oop, got glue on my fingers. Oop. I have not used these enough. Which ones? Let's just go with the flow here. Not a huge fan of the black ones, but I'm thinking they might actually look quite good on the gold ones. Let's try. What do we think? Oop. Why isn't it picking up? I know I could use my take your pick tool, and I will once I'm gluing them down. What do we think? Black? Thanks, Margaret, for joining me. The food pens. I'm missing something. Sequins everywhere, yes. Oh. Okay, for those who are watching and don't see comments, Kayla's comment was, I like the food pens, and the autocorrect was wrong. She meant the gold ones. I was thinking gold, but I've got the silver thread. Is that? And then Diane has said red and black. Oh, Diane, your nominee is going to get a card from last week, so just message me which one you would like for them to get. So it's the, you can see the reef one, the yellow one, or the terracotta tile one. Red and black. Red flower ones. Oh yeah, I do like the red and black. And so the red flowers and the black sequins. So pretty or good. What if we put one here? Sometimes it's just a matter of playing, experimenting and seeing how it looks. It's an even number though. I don't like that. It bothers me when it's an even number. Top left hand corner. Thank you, Diane. Let's try top left hand corner. Which color though, Megan? Is it too spread out? No, I don't like that. Too spread out. I'm gonna try to there. I'm gonna like it like that. Okay. Put these away, and I'm really lazy about letting the glue sit and dry today, so I'm going to show you a little trick with the sequins. So when you buy Stampin' Up kits, some of them come with these little glue dotty things, and I don't use them in the kits because I don't. I like the tackiness of them, but I prefer using the liquid multi-purpose glue. But I have found that these are fantastic for adhering sequins. So that is what I shall do. Ta-da! Thank you, Sue. Margaret along. No, I'm happy with the way it is now, so I'm not going to move it. So I am taking the glue dots. So I'm using the really pointy end of the Take Your Pick tool. And placing the little dot where the sequins will go. So yeah. So if you ever have a kit, not so much don't use these dots, but feel free to use whatever adhesive you prefer, and then keep these dots for sequins. A lot of kits do come with sequins too, so they're great for that, and that's how I kind of worked out they were fantastic for sequins. There we go. Oh, pretty. And sequins, trim this one down. Thank you, Margaret. So there we go. Bit of a tidy up. So don't forget, I haven't been talking about it today, but please nominate someone that you think could do with a bit of sunshine, sharing the sunshine, and your nominee may get this beautiful card in the mail from me, but on your behalf. I do request that the nominees be in Australia, because I'm not sure how international posts is going these days. Thank you, Amy and Diane. But you don't have to be in Australia, just your nominee has to be in Australia. So it's the faux, sorry, I have pronunciation problems with that word because there's an X on it and that just doesn't make it. Faux embossing technique. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with the envelope, to be honest, and that's why we're not touching the envelope. Actually, I might emboss the envelope flat, but because my silicone mat is covered in glue, I'll do that off camera, but you'll see that on my blog. Thank you so much for watching and joining and spending time with me. I hope you have a wonderful week, and the plan is to be back Monday night with another episode. I think even with the sequins, it'll be a lovely sympathy card. To be honest, it's funny kind of say that, Diane. It's not funny, but I do need to make a sympathy card, and I thought I will recreate this card off camera for a sympathy card and use that. Where is it? There. Use the with deepest sympathy sentiment. My pleasure. Okay. Oh, good. Glad you can't wait. So next Monday night, 8 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time, we will be doing another episode of Fantastic Fun Folds. Don't ask me which fold yet. I will work it out. But thanks so much for joining me and spending time with me. Bye for now.